After Alien 3 finished shooting, Sigourney Weaver was quoted as saying that she would never do a fourth Alien movie. And then in the lead up to Alien Resurrection hitting theaters, they noticed that Sigourney Weaver's name was all over the goddamn marquee, so interviewers were absolutely clamoring to find out an answer why Sigourney Weaver would go back on her word. Why would you betray the fans? Why would you say that you wouldn't do it? And then you did it. And she was quoted as basically saying, well, they basically backed up a dump truck full of money to my house. And you know what? I honestly respect that. I'm John Renton with the retro review of Alien Resurrection from 1997. From the director of The City of Lost Children, A Very Long Engagement, and Amelie. That's right. The director of those movies had something to do with this, like directing it. It's a little bit bizarre. Weird filmography. Speaking of City of Lost Children, Ron Perlman's in this. He doesn't play the Xenomorph because they actually had to use the makeup budget. Har, har, har. But yes, Sigourney Weaver, after meeting an unfortunate end, aka having a Xenomorph growing inside of her, falling into a pit of molten hot, schmelting lava, and dying, 200 years into the future, they decided that we're going to clone Ellen Ripley, so she's SiCloney Weaver. Ha ha! Whatever, I'm going to have some fun with this. But yes, basically she is Ellen Ripley 8 because they've done 8 clones and she is the best one. And she's not 7 because 7 would have 8, 9, but no, they didn't have to do a 9th because 8 is perfect. A perfect figure 8. A perfect figure. That's actually what Ellen Ripley had. That's actually what Sigourney Weaver looked great in this, and she was like 50, I believe, at this point. But nevertheless, the rest of the cast includes Winona Ryder, looking as only she can look. Michael Wincott, who, man, that voice, so goddamn distinct. I mean, you see this, you see Nope. 25 years difference. Age, we all age. That voice is so goddamn easy to recognize. Dan Hedaya, who's great at playing villains in all kinds of movies. Really, really great as a slimy asshole. Brad Dourif is in this. And then you also have Kim Flowers and, yes, the aforementioned Ron Perlman. And Dominic Pannone. And, yeah, this is also written by Josh Whedon, or Josh Whedon, however the hell you want to say his goddamn name. The guy who did Buffy. You know, back when we didn't realize that Mr. Joss was just a little bit of an absolute goddamn screaming asshole, to say the least. Read up about it. No wonder his career took a goddamn hit. Several hits. Not enough hits for my liking, though. But nevertheless, after Alien 3 was a fucking debacle, even though it made money, and David Fincher's career was nearly goddamn ruined, they returned with Alien Resurrection, which was sort of a return to form for the Alien franchise. And yes, I am retro-viewing all the Alien movies. I have up next Prometheus, and then Alien Mike Covenant. I don't know if I'm going to do Alien vs. Predator because I have about a month as of now to basically get, basically figure all this stuff out and figure out if, that I'm actually going to have time because I got a lot of projects and a lot of work and a lot of movies. But nevertheless, this had a $75 million budget, which would be just almost double that, $146.8 million in today's money, and then $16.4 million opening. So, ouch. Big ouch. That's $32.1 million in today's money. $47.7 million U.S. Canada gross. Ow. Word may have spread that this was kind of a middling movie, in all honesty. It was better than Alien 3, but after Alien 3 was not well received, and still isn't well received, yeah, you can understand that. $93.3 million in today's money. I remember 93.3. That was a great local station that we used to have here. We still have it. It's just not any good anymore. So $161.3 million for the worldwide gross, and that is $315.7 million in today's money. So, okay, it was successful enough to basically double its budget, but with the marketing and everything, even though it turned a profit, it's pretty obvious that they were going to be in trouble. So yeah, it's 200 years in the future. Ellen Ripley is cloned. Another crew comes aboard, headed by Ron Perlman. Winona Ryder is also there. And you have a character named Ren. That's with a W, not R-E-N, not R-E-M anyway. He's not going to stand in the space where you live and then face north and then suffocate from explosive decompression because he didn't wear a spacesuit. Ren in the state where you live. Okay, it's ruining that. But yes, Ren, he will just wrench everybody out, of their goddamn, I don't know, their soul or whatever. So, yes, this space station happens to have a state-of-the-art lab, at least for back then. The computer technology is a little bit not good because it's still the 90s. But yes, Ellen Ripley has been cloned. They are trying to figure her out and see if she's going to work. Also, because they cloned her, she had a xenomorph inside her. Honest answer as to how they were able to clone her, but whatever. Maybe they dug her out of that goddamn thing. Maybe somebody was able to take a drop of blood from Jonesy, who was not in the third one. And obviously wouldn't be in this one. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if Jonesy somehow managed to live 200 goddamn years, that is going to be a very old cat. That's going to be the second oldest cat I have seen on film. You do not want to know about the first. Always delete your search history. So, yes, genetic crossing with a xenomorph. So, basically, this clone of Ellen Ripley has some of the xenomorph's settings or, genetic code like acid blood and super strength and all that stuff. And also, oh yes, they have various aliens there on this ship somehow that they've managed to trap, including a queen. And they're going to do genetic code stuff. And they have this xenomorph that they got from Ripley's body. And Weyland-Yutani is mentioned because Weyland-Yutani always puts humanity last. So there's a queen there. Ellen Ripley is quoted saying, "It's a queen, she'll breed, you'll die." And yes, this crew comes aboard. Ron Perlman is a horny goddamn bastard. Sigourney Weaver beats him up with a basketball, nails him in the balls. Beatsketball, I guess is really what they could have called it. I could have worked on that joke a little bit. But yeah, essentially these scientists are all idiots. Complete idiots. From Ren to Dan Hedaya's character. And yeah, when Ripley has the acid blood, it's obvious, oh shit, something weird is going on. And essentially we have a lot of weird sexual tension on this ship. I don't understand why necessarily. And maybe don't anger the xenomorph and threaten it with like cold spray or cold play, and it's going to be a ticking clock on your life. They somehow managed to, have these aliens trapped until these aliens realize, hey, wait a second. You know what we could do? We could just attack one of us, kill one of us, and the acid will melt through the goddamn floor, and we'll be able to escape. Man, we totally should have tried this about like 18 trials ago. This 90s CGI wasn't all that great. It was better than Alien 3, mainly because I think there was more effort put into this than Alien 3, and also the technology, even 5 years later, advanced a little bit. But Sigourney and Winona, at one point it seemed like Sigourney was, getting all weird over Winona and sniffing her and choking her, and can she choke me next? I don't have issues, you have issues, shut up. Winona Ryder's character's name is Call, by the way, and she is trying to kill Sigourney Weaver. Why? Because she had an alien being inside her, even if she's a clone. And that whole, the whole thing with the setup on the ship and the lab went tits up really goddamn quickly. Also, this ship seems to consist of about 8 rooms, is what I noticed. I don't know why that made me laugh. So the aliens basically devour various people, but not without the humans fighting them. There's more firepower, so we're going kind of back to the whole aliens thing, which was kind of funny. And the writing's better than the third one. That still doesn't mean it's great, though. The direction clearly was very commercialized because the director of City of Lost Children and Amelie did way better than this. But then there's a point where there's this one guy that's in a wheelchair that gets carried by this guy named Christine, a guy with dreads. And I thought it was Mario Van Peebles, and then I realized this guy playing Christine is an actual actor, unlike Mario Van Peebles, who I've never understood the appeal of. Really haven't. I mean, Jaws of Revenge, not that you should base anybody's career on a movie like that, but his acting was never better after that. And his acting was terrible in that. So, nevertheless, they're swimming. They have to get out of this particular swimming hole. There's this weird deal, this weird cover. Then they realize, oh shit, all of a sudden these eggs are all around. All these eggs and all this stuff. And, the idea is that these scientists lured everybody there because they were going to create more hosts. Like, they had this one, silly part where these people were in front of these eggs and then facehuggers went on them, and I guess they got, attacked and everything. Some of these scenes were a little bit random. And, there's this big fight. They're climbing up all this, industrial stuff that's in the spaceship somehow. And there's one guy, Christine, gets some acid on his goddamn face, and then they turn around because he can't see. So the short shit with no working legs is trying to climb this thing. And then Christine sacrifices himself by pushing himself up. And no, not this character that looks like Mario Van Peebles, only better. Ren, by the way, is the main villain. He's a very, very bland character. Nothing against the actor, it's just the character is bland. So, yes, they have to basically destroy a whole bunch of eggs. There's some grenades and missiles that get launched. Call basically gets destroyed. Oh no, Call gets shot. Ren shot her. And then it turns out the Call is actually an android, because of course you bloody is. Because why wouldn't you have an android in an alien movie? And, yeah, the aliens just keep attacking. They come up with this idea to get on this ship. Oh, yes, and the Queen gives birth to the hybrid creature thing. That's like an alien-human hybrid. Where the scientist is really happy despite the fact he's stuck in all this goo. And they rescue this one guy a little bit earlier that happens to... You'll recognize the actor, by the way, I just want to say that. And he has an alien in him. He has a xenomorph in him. He was one of the people that escaped, I believe, from that weird trial thing that they had in the room with all the people in these pods, in front of these other pods. And what basically ends up happening from there is it turns out this guy knows he's going to die, but then Ren tries to destroy them and take over the ship. But then this guy starts having a chest burst thing. So he beats him up, beats up Ren, and then shoves the little xenomorph thing from his tummy or his chest into his goddamn skull, which actually was a pretty creative shot. And then the weird clone hybrid thing shows up. And Sigourney Weaver has to basically try to get it, in a certain position. So they can send it out the airlock. But there's only a hole in this door, and it basically gets sucked through, and it's all screaming and everything. She feels this attachment to all this stuff because it's part her, but no, she has to let it go, even though she's a clone, so she's not actually Ellen Ripley. But that's kind of a neat shot. Like, the thing gets sucked out through the hole in the airlock, and there we are. That's it for that. I don't know why in the world it was so funny to me. The other ship that was actually supposed to land with that alien, all that alien tech and those alien samples, ends up exploding in the atmosphere. But I bet you some aliens survived. I bet you they did, because otherwise we wouldn't get another one. And, yeah, everything's fine. Their ship's okay. Everything's fine on Earth, I guess. I don't know. We just basically end right there. And yeah, that's it basically for Alien Resurrection. It's not a bad movie. It's not a great movie. It's a movie. That is pretty much it. It's definitely better than Alien 3. And is it better than Prometheus? Is it better than Alien Mike Covenant? We'll have to see, because I have to revisit those, because I remember them, but the memory's fuzzy on if I actually feel the same way. So agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland, and I'll see you soon.